Hello, my name is Gabby Delegard. I am in Professor Brown's Music 117 class, and today we'll be talking about Brazilian samba. All right, so what is Brazilian samba? Brazilian samba has Afro-Brazilian origins, most specifically beginning in this is where samba was most prominent and began in Bahia, Brazil, and came all the way to Rio, specifically Rio de Janeiro, which is where Carnival today takes place. And samba is rooted in African rhythms and community traditions, and some of these traditions are the West and Central African drumming traditions in Congo and the Angola region, and circle rituals, or the roda, and communal singing and call and response, etc. There are more traditions, but these are just the ones we're listing today. So, samba is a symbol of identity, resistance, and carnival. It's an expression of history and identity. Samba is also and was also used as a form of resistance, and it was a way for enslaved people many years ago to maintain their culture and traditions, teach it to others, and therefore it continues to be a form of liberation and pride for many today. According to the YouTube video titled Roots of Samba: History of Afro-Brazilian Music and Dance, it is stated that samba peaks during Carnival and it boosts an economy of $500 million and generates about 300,000 jobs only in Rio de Janeiro. So this is obviously a big time for everyone, and Carnival takes place in about February. So Samba is also linked to Samba de Roda gatherings, which is what I talked about up above, which is the circle gatherings. And it's where singers, musicians, and dancers rotate in a circle in the center of it. And it features improvisation, lots of energy, expressive movements in the hips, legs, and the feet. And clapping and call and response singing are key and important elements in this. And dancers invite the next person into the circle using the umbigada, which is a traditional belly bump gesture. All right, so for samba's instruments, we're gonna start with the cerdo, which is a membranophone, and it's the bass drum pulse. And then we have the repeneki, and it's a membranophone, and it's the lead drum. It gives the cues. It's in the bateria, or the drum kit, which is basically just the large percussion ensemble that you have in samba. And for the tambourine, it's also a membranophone. There are sharp syncopated accents that you hear from it. And for the cuica, it's also a membranophone, and it's the laughing, sounding friction drum. And for the chocalo and the agolo, these are both idiophones, and these are the shakers and the bells. Now for the part two of samba instruments, we have the pendero, which is a membranophone with idiophone jingles, and this is basically just a hand drum with jingles. And then we have the cavaquinho, which is a chordophone, and it's bright strummed chords. And then for the guitar, also known as the violão, it's a chordophone, and it supports vocals and the harmony. And now for the musical elements, the rhythm is a strong 2/4 heavy syncopation, meaning that there are two beats per measure. And for the melody, it's simple vocals and then the strings secondary. And for the harmony, it's light, but there are functional progressions. And basically, what this means is that there are chord changes that follow predictable patterns which support the melody. And then for texture, it's a layered percussion plus the melody. And then for the timbre, it's bright, metallic, and vibrant. And if you're listening to samba, you know that's true. And for the form, it's a verse chorus, simple, which is a simple and familiar structure. It's easy to follow. And then we have the call and response, which is pretty self-explanatory. The music almost becomes a conversation. There's a call, and then there's a response from someone else. And now for our music example and analysis, I'll be playing 1 minute of this. And I'll skip to the middle so that you can get more of an idea of what we're listening to. A lot of hip movements.
Brasil, minha voz é enternecida, já dobrou os teus brasões.
And this isn't as intense as Brazilian samba and carnival, but this is still a great demonstration of what samba is and what it looks like.
Na aquarela do Brasil, eu cantei de norte a sul. Basta, quero ver que assim, fica assim, Brasil, né? Qual é o teu negócio? Quando me negociação, confia em Brasil. Posso ver,
As you can see in the video, there's lots of foot movements, there's lots of leg movements, and there's a lot of moving around. It's very high energy, and this is the YouTube video, and it's the song Samba, Brazilian Dance. And in this video, there's a surdo pulse that drives the beat, and then there's the tambourine, which adds the sharp accents that you hear, and then the cuica adds the unique squeaking timbre. And then overall, it's energetic, it's layered, and it's bright. And then I have the link for you. And then last but not least, for the interview summary, I interviewed my mother, who's from Rio Grande do Sul, Brazil, and my mom has participated in multiple Latin dance club and classes when she was younger, including one for samba dancing. So she learned samba not as professionals do, but enough to get an idea of what samba means, is what she said to me. And although my mom is not an expert at samba, she took this class for a couple of weeks and learned the idea and the true feeling of samba. And I asked my mother what samba meant to her, and she said that samba means freedom, joy, and high energy. She told me that reading about samba is one thing, but actually partaking in the movements and listening to the music is a whole different story. And then she told me that the most challenging part about this class was the very quick hip, leg, feet movements, but as you can expect, seeing samba, that makes sense. And here's my works cited. Thank you very much.